Hi, Gemini. Welcome to Higher Source Tarot for a tarot reading for all Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thanks to all of you for all the support through Tarot Gate. I feel like not only are we back to doing regular readings, but I have a new sense of appreciation. This has really been fun. And I also hope you're all feeling that energy as we get closer and closer to Gemini season. If you are new here, welcome. I post new readings on Friday, then again on Monday. So if a reading doesn't fit, just come back in a couple of days. Don't ever try to make it make sense. Fridays are always a general reading. So today's reading will bring in aspects of money, love, travel, moving, anything you could ask about. Mondays are a different style every week. You'll have to come back to see what that's all about. If you like tarot and you like the channel, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to Higher Source Tarot. What advice do you have for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What does Gemini need to know for the best and highest good of all concerned with Gemini? Messages for Gemini, please. Whew. All right, we will start here with the tarot, then we'll have the angel answers. You have here the Seven of Wands, pushing forward. The Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. The Ten of Wands, a bit of a challenge there, but again, it's all about putting those wands down. You have Judgment, decision day for somebody here. We've got the Nine of Wands, so 9, 7, 9, 10. We have the Six of Cups, one of the fairy tale cards. You've got the Eight of Pentacles, and we've got the Six of Wands. I love that Six of Wands, especially with the Six of Cups. My two favorite sixes are here. So for somebody here, if you've been through a challenging period with relationships, I do feel like you're going to have a turning point here. And you may meet somebody, especially too if you're single, somebody who really is your match. You have self-mastery here. So we've got the Archangel Gabriel, we've got fire, water, earth, all right? So I do feel, though, with this Seven of Wands, that conquering spirit is about success. It's also, too, though, with this, it's like you don't give up. You don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle happens. So those of you, too, if it has been some kind of a competitive race for a house or for housing, I didn't mention this, but you have the 6, 7, 9, 10. There is, I mean, we've got 78 cards in the deck. So when they start to show up that close together, I feel like it's meaningful. But with this Seven of Wands, I just feel like if it's something you've been really challenged by and saying, I'm going to complete this, I'm going to finish this, this is going to happen. I do feel like your mindset, your grit, your fortitude, your persistence is going to pay off. Now, for some of you, this may be a bit metaphorical in terms of relationships, because I don't see it as this type of energy. Again, really, that's really not what we want to do in a relationship, right? I mean, so it can be about not giving up, but I also feel like it's more of a metaphorical kind of sense, like saying, you know what, I'm going to get back on that horse again, okay, with this. It's that energy of saying relationships haven't gone the way I wanted them to, or maybe I haven't always had what I thought I was attracting, and sometimes we do that and realize, no, I did attract that. Now I can see how that happened. But I do feel like you're attracting a match with that Six of Wands. But either way, I love the Six of Wands. It is victory, it's success. And so with the Nine of Cups, I do feel like you're going to be sitting pretty in a situation. This feels either, like I said, either a move where you're really going to be saying, this is the right move for me. I feel good in this environment. And it's also pride and ownership too. So with that Ten of Wands, I do feel like whatever you're trying to complete, you're going to have this as that feeling, that like feeling of not just attainment. You have it here too, by the way, that feeling of attainment keeps coming in. It's in several places. I also feel like too, though, if it is some kind of project you're completing, whether it's more education or it's like a home project or something like that, they keep saying it's a project. I do feel like you have helpful people too who come in. So if you need any additional support, you'll have it. But ultimately, it really is a place where you feel a lot of satisfaction, where you're saying, I did this. And so I do see somebody here is sort of crossing that ultimate finish line in an area of your life that's going to be very rewarding. Now, in terms of relationships, though, you do have a wonderful energy for attracting someone, and especially with that energy of judgment. Those of you that have been waiting, I feel like they're trying to tell you that wait is over. Now, with the Six of Cups, that can be a bit of a nostalgic energy. It can feel like somebody that you've been waiting for a long time. That's what I get initially. Like, you know, this is the right one. I'm glad I didn't settle along the way is what I get off of this. But for some of you too, it may be somebody who has a lot in common with you, who really gets you, but especially with the 6 and 9 of Cups, that's a very fluid energy. It's a very harmonious energy, getting along well together. And so with the 10 of Wands being here, like we were just talking about, Wands are all about expansion and growth. So this is, you know, nothing is wasted in God's economy, as they say. Nothing is wasted in the universe's economy. So whatever effort, it doesn't feel like that energy where you go, well, what in the hell? You know, I put in all this effort and that's it. This is all that's going to happen. I do feel like with this, you really are getting there. And so for some of you too, there are very few houses in the tarot. And so you do have that little tiny house in the backdrop. So for some, it is an indication of a move. And even if it's been arduous or it's just really kind of taken it out of you, I do feel like you're going to feel at the end like it's a real accomplishment. This is 10s are about perfection. They're new cycles. They're dominion. And so with this 10 of Wands, it is that time where you're going to expand. So this is worth the effort, whatever it is. Now, for some too, in relationships, again, if that search is over, I get that Survivor song. Remember that one from the 80s? The search is over. I do feel like with this, you are going to say, I went through a lot of searching. I went through a lot of times of just not having a partner because I knew it wasn't the right one and I wasn't going to do that. So I do feel like, again, the best is yet to come. And if you are having if you have had a challenge in your relationship, so if you're in something currently, but you know it's worth the investment, you know there's real love there, I do see you working that out. Okay, I do see this as a bit of a turning point. You have that tipping point energy with judgment. So this is very important, but it's also very fortuitous in that type of an energy where there's been a little bit of a challenge. So with the energy of judgment, it is gaining it is a decision, yes, but it's also gaining that higher perspective. I mean, ultimately, the Archangel Gabriel blows that horn of ascension, letting some into heaven. Okay, so it really is saying it's letting you into that next period of your life, that next chapter, that next part of the story that you've been asking for. And so with this, there's great freedom, there's celebration, there's a real connection. It's also too can be an energy of a time when you're going to have wonderful creativity. So if you do anything with communication as part of your job, or even if it is something to do with a house, I do feel like you're going to have, there's something about communication that keeps coming in that's going to be really important for you, but it's also going to be very strong. It's going to be a strong suit for you. So either way with this, I do feel like it's a time when new doors open. It is a time in your life where there's growth and ascension, and you're going to look back at that chapter and say, that was pivotal. Back at this particular chapter and say, this was pivotal. Well, you got the wounded warrior. So I do feel like you've been putting in everything you've got. This is like you've left it all on the table. Okay, you've left it all at wherever it is that you're leaving it, all right? You know, we say that you left it all on the court. Well, you've left it wherever you've needed it to. But with this 9 too, though, I was just looking to see, you don't have another 9 here. Yeah, you do have another 9 here. I thought we did. So with this, you've got 2 9s here. And so I do feel like ultimately it is about that attainment piece of this. It's saying, I'm glad I didn't quit, like we said, 5 minutes before the miracle happened. So with this, I do feel like too, if it's a house or something, that we got the house first. That's really what it felt like. Or a moving situation. This is where you say, oh my God, I'm glad I did this. It was hard while I was doing it, but I also feel like too, it builds up some grit. It builds up a little bit of that fortitude where you say, I've done this before and I know I can do it again. So the 6 of Cups is beauty, it's harmony. I feel like anywhere you move to, this is Pleasantville. It's like where all the neighbors are great. The little, you know, shop down the corner, down the street is great. You meet people easily. You have nice conversation, nice little rendezvous with people. But it's also a return to love. It's a return to trust. And so like we've talked about with this one, it is saying happier times are ahead. You have it here too. These are my 2 favorite sixes. So both of these are predicting happier times ahead. But I will say with the 6 of Cups, in terms of love, it is having a lot in common with someone, a lot in terms of your background. And if it is a reconciliation or somebody from the past who pops back in on you, They have kept you in their heart and on their mind for a long, long time. This is somebody who's wanted to reconnect with you for a long time. And so I do feel like that reconnection, it feels fun. It feels like that sort of energy of youth, that sort of carefree, like I'm so glad we caught up. We came back to right where we left off, didn't miss a beat. And so with the Eight of Pentacles here, this too, for some of you, it is about building up a future. So those of you too that have invested, whatever it is that you've invested, you are going to have a payoff. Now, if it has been something with a house and it's been some kind of a renovation or you're preparing it to sell it, I do feel like you're going to get more money than maybe you expect with this. But ultimately, it is about rhythm and vibration and kind of in some ways a bit methodical, where you just keep doing the next right thing. And so I feel like with this, you're in flow. It's like we were saying before, kind of a fluid type of energy. And that Six of Wands, what a wonderful card to end on. The Six of Wands, you're not only going to be feeling support, but you're going to be feeling the appreciation, the accolades, the people around you. You may find that a lot of people notice you. They compliment you. They encourage you. This is a great card in career and money, but it's also great in love too. So like we were talking about, this is one of those cards that says success and victory are coming towards you. So with abundance too. This is not just a little dose of it. It really is saying that that next cycle of things you've been working for are coming. So let's see here what the angels have to say for you, Gemini. Messages for Gemini, please. What else does Gemini need to know, please? Advice for Gemini. Compromise. All right, you also have the scales of balance there. So again, those of you that have been working on some kind of a project, you may find that you have an option with that, but I still feel like ultimately you're going towards a successful conclusion. Listen to your intuition. So if you're having invitations, people saying, hey, you want to go out and do this or that, go with them. Ask for help from others. So I told you before, where the cards are saying you have helpful people coming in the near future, they say, and you've got to choose a new direction. So with this too, you may have to be open to offers for help, whatever that is that you're asking about. But good things are on the way, Gemini. I love you, and I'll be back again soon.